And so we'll settle on our mat and on our backs. I like to start on our backs today or this evening, and we'll end on our backs. So it'll be very symmetrical in that respect. And as you come to your back, try to find a really comfortable spot and do a little body scan on your own. And I'll guide you through something of a little bit of a scan as well at the beginning. But let's settle. Come to your breath, your natural breath. If you'd like to take a couple of deeper inhales and exhales, please do so. Maybe just use the intention that you're releasing anything that is occurring in your life, any residuals from today or the weekend or the week, and to let go of any energies we no longer need so that we approach our evening and our week in a calm, relaxed way and peaceful as well. All right. So as you take a few breaths, notice how the body is feeling, how the body has landed on the ground. And I'm going to move you into your first pose, and it is a yin pose, and we'll be holding it a little longer. So if you have any blankets or blocks nearby, you may need them for support as a modification, and I'll walk you through that as well. So for our first pose, we're going to bend the knees and bring the soles of the feet onto the mat first. And then just take notice of the lower back and see how the lower back feels. So if you're watching me, you're just at this point. And then bring the soles of the feet a little closer together as if the knees are touching, and then allow the knees to fall open wide. So this is called the butterfly pose. It's a supine butterfly. And the target area here is the inside or the inner linings of the legs. So if that feels too much, you can draw the legs a little further apart. Just be mindful of the knees, or I'm sorry, further towards the front of the mat. Or you can cushion the bottom of the legs, and that's why I asked about blankets. You can cushion the bottom of the thighs or the ankles that way. Sorry, I just want to mute my phone here, my watch. And then surrender into the pose and notice and tune into what you're feeling. Once again, the inner linings of the hips, maybe the lower back. Notice how your neck feels. Make sure that your head or your chin is not pressing too far back, that your neck is lengthened and comfortable. So you want to find that sweet spot. I tell everyone find that sweet spot where you can relax and you can really let go in the pose. Because once you surrender into the pose, which we'll be holding for a few minutes, once you surrender in that pose, then you can truly allow that connective tissue to stretch. And that's what we're going for. And I'm focusing on more of a spring theme as far as our exercises are. The spring is coming. It's right around the corner. I mean, we experienced our first spring forward in our time. Birds are singing a lot earlier now, and it's just brighter, and you can sense the stirring of the energy within the earth. So the exercises that we'll be doing today will focus on the meridians, the energy channels in the body that are related to the liver and the gallbladder. So this pose here is actually affecting both. The gallbladder meridian runs along the outside of the leg and up the body, and I'll explain that more later. But the outer part of the leg and the liver is more the inner or the back and the inner linings of the leg. And if you sense any tension or energy blocks in the legs, and that could feel like a tension or a pulling, that means that there may be some stagnant energy in your meridians, right? And these poses and our movements today are going to push through that stagnant energy and create more harmony in the body. So settle and give yourself the attention that you deserve. The act of self-care is never a selfish act. It's actually a selfless act. And when we tune into our own self-care and our own experience of taking care of ourselves, we create that space within us that we need to nourish, to support. When we take care of ourselves first, we are then able to take care of others. We take care of ourselves first as our main priority. And allow yourself, once again, as you're laying in this position, to scan yourself from the crown, from the top of your head. Notice any sensations that you may be feeling. And then allow that attention to flow down, maybe resting on your eyes. The liver meridian affects the eyes. So anything that you're doing today, like this pose right now, is nourishing those eyes, the optic nerves, any sensations, any energy in and around the eyes. And then down to your cheeks. And the gallbladder meridian runs around the side of the face and ends at your cheek. Down to your lips and your throat, and allow yourself to swallow and to clear any energies there. Down to your shoulders and down your arms, all the way down to your fingertips. All the soft tissues in and around the arms. Down the torso, your heart space. And as you inhale and expand the heart, and you're sensing that there's almost a clearing of any stagnant energy that is upon the chest. And allowing your awareness to come down towards your stomach and all the organs that are in the torso, your kidneys, your small intestines, your large intestines, the spleen. Sometimes we focus so much on the muscles and the bones because we feel the tensions and the tightness in those areas. But our organs play an important role in our health. And we need to bring the intention and gratitude for these organs as well. Now bring your awareness down to your hips and notice the space in the hips, the space that you're creating in and around the socket of the joint. Then follow the inner linings of the hips down towards your knees and down towards your feet. Bring attention to each of your toes. And then along the outside, from the pinky, down the side of the foot and up the side of the leg towards the hip. And take a few more breaths here. We'll take 4 more complete breaths. And for those of you that are not new to my class, but those, I think most of you are, that's an indication that we'll be coming out of the pose very soon. So those long inhales and exhales are just preparing for you to slowly move out of the pose as I cue you out. Because our connective tissue being in this position for a while feels a little fragile. Okay? We're not creating fragility, but you'll feel a little fragile. So we want to bring that awareness. So bring our knees in towards the middle And then you have the option here. You can either bring the feet to the side and allow yourself to slowly surrender in this pose with the knees together, or you can draw the knees apart slowly, moving the hips side to side or the knees side to side. And being mindful and notice any sensations that you're feeling. You may feel a whoosh of energy coming from any areas of the feet up towards the legs. Maybe you feel a pulling and a tugging. Just notice what you notice. Do a few more of these side to side movements. And then pause. Heel toe the feet in towards the middle in alignment with your hips, right? So your knees and your feet are hip distance apart. Draw both of the legs in towards the chest. Round out the lower spine. So it should feel nice and massaging on the lower back. Maybe you can move them side to side a little bit. A little yang movement. And then extend the right leg all the way out and place it on the mat. Bring your left knee into your chest. Give it a big squeeze. And then extend the leg up into the sky or the ceiling or the universe. And keep it bent to your knee if that's appropriate. If you can extend fully, that's great too. Me, I can't today, so I'm just going to honor that. Bring your hands along the backside of the thighs to support. And then flex your foot. And notice what you notice. Notice any pulling sensations along the hamstrings. And then circle the ankle a few times one way and a few times the other way. And I always tell people we don't really circle our ankles that much during the day. Then we kind of look kind of weird as we're walking. But anyway, that's me being funny. So it's good to circle the ankles. We flex and point a lot because as we walk, we do that, but we don't circle. And then come to stillness for a moment. And then keeping your hands along the backside of the legs, cross the leg over to the right. So your left leg, just gently cross it over. Notice what you notice. You don't have to go all the way, just a little bit. Notice if you feel the pulling in the back of the leg change in the area. And then come back to center. Draw that knee in towards the chest. Draw both knees in towards the chest. Squeeze them in and extend now the opposite. Left leg all the way down. Right knee in towards the chest. And then extend that one up, bringing your hands behind the thigh. Notice what you notice as you point and flex the toes. I'm noticing that mine are tight, so this is a good exercise for me. And hopefully for you. And then bring that circular motion to your foot. So a lot of meridians or the energy channels that we're working today, or both of them actually, start along the toes. The gallbladder from the pinky and the liver meridian from around the fourth toe, the one next to the pinky or the middle toe, one of those. I can't seem to remember exactly which toe right at this moment. Yeah. And now cross this leg over to the left. And then back to the middle. Bring this knee into the chest. And then extend it all the way down, all the way. Both legs are flat onto the mat. Shift your feet or move your feet to the right corner of the mat. And then your upper body or your arms should go to the upper right-hand corner. We're going to do a side bend or a crescent moon pose, also called the banana pose. And we want to focus, the focus of this pose, the outside of the left side of the body where the gallbladder meridian runs. See if you can shift the body to feel that nice stretch or flexion or curve of the left side of the body. If you want, you can take your left leg and cross it over the ankle, the right ankle. If it's too much on your shoulders, bring your arm to cactus arms or T. Whatever modifications you need to make, please do so. Because then after you come into your pose, you want to be able to just surrender, let go. And we'll be here for about a minute. We won't stay here too long. So I'd like to get in as much as possible today. Get my other ear thing. Yeah, so the gallbladder meridian runs along the outside of the leg. And the gallbladder meridian or energy helps us to make our decisions. So when the gallbladder meridian, the energy channel is stagnant, maybe we have a harder time making those decisions. These are the elements of spring, or the organs of spring. All right, so we're going to take 2 complete breaths. And then come, or release the upper arms first, bring them forward. And then move or shift your legs to the bottom left side. And if you want, you can lift your hips and move them to the right, giving yourself a little space, just playing with the pose, right? And then you'll just transition to the other side, bringing your arms overhead, noticing what you're noticing here. The blanket also helps if you want to bring it above your head, maybe placing the blanket along the upper arm or underneath the shoulder for a little bit more support. So use props as support as your friends. So the gallbladder meridian, while we're in this pose, comes from the outside of the pinky of the foot. Both sides are equal. Up along the side of the bottom of the leg, it does a little zigzag as it comes towards the top of the outside of the leg. Up the hip, the side body, a little zigzag here. And then the back shoulder, and then comes forward towards the neck, up and around the neck, the head, a couple more zigzags there, and ends at the cheek. So it's a long meridian. It actually starts from the cheek and comes down. All right. Take 2 more breaths here. And then move back to center. Everything comes back to center. Bring your arms overhead and stretch the entire spine. So we're going to awaken the spine a little bit. We did some side flexion with the spine. Now we're going to stretch it and create space in the vertebrae, space in our shoulders, and then release. Bend your knees 1 more time. We'll do a little twist. So bring the feet flat onto the mat. Lower the hips, or lower the knees. Lower the knees to your right side. Feel that nice curve of the lower back. Notice any sensations that are not appropriate. We're just going to be here for a few breaths. And you will have the option to turn your head towards the opposite way. Taking 3 more complete breaths here. Back to center with the knees, and then slowly lowering it to the other side. And shifting the feet wider if that's necessary. So once again, finding your sweet spot. You may even feel a tug or any sensations along the thighs, the upper thighs. Taking 3 breaths. And then from here, just take the upper body and shift it over to the left as if you're coming into a fetal position. And so just stacking the knees for a moment. Your arms are both on the left side. And then you're going to press up and come to seated facing the front. Oh, if you have a block or if you have a blanket, this is what I wanted to show you. Just if we won't be here long, actually, but if you ever need to elevate your hips a little bit, you can bring the blanket underneath. So we can actually sit with our hips at the edge. And when we cross our legs, our spine is more upright. This is the best trick I've ever learned with the blanket, because I used to sit and my spine was hurting. I didn't feel like I was upright. My shoulders are all hurting. Now, just by sitting at the edge, I've elevated my hips, and it gives me a little bit more space. So try it if you have a blanket. Right. And from here, just going to do a couple more shoulder exercises, and then we'll move into we'll go into some more movement. So bring your fingertips onto the mat. You can just tent the fingertips. And then bring your shoulders up and around and back. So you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together. So what we're doing is we're retracting the shoulders. We're doing the opposite of what we do all day, and that's protract. So that's forward movement. We're squeezing, opening up the front body, all the little muscles in the front chest, by the collarbone, and also by the front of the neck, get all tight during the day. And then we're going to turn our palms to face up. And notice what you notice in the upper arms, that rotation. We're opening, externally rotating the arms. And then from here, we're going to lift and reach up to the sky as much as you can. That's comfortable. And then just allow the palms to touch. And then turn the palms the opposite way and fold the palms down. So we're internally rotating. And when you're doing that internal and external rotation, well, let's do that again. Let's turn the palms up and internal. You're rotating the entire arm, not just the hand. Feel the entire rotation. And float them up and down. We'll do that 2 more times this way, just to warm up the upper body, keeping the shoulder blades squeezing in towards each other. And if you can't do this kind of exercise during the day, which I know most of you can't, if you're teaching or sitting and working somewhere, what if you're by yourself, you can. Just see if you can squeeze your shoulder blades several times during the day, just to counteract that hunching over. All right, let's bring our fingertips down. From here, now we're going to bring the hands up to a T. Allow the palms to face forward, and then squeeze the shoulders back, and then flex the wrists back. And see how that feels. I feel a lot of tingling, a lot of nerve sensation. And then bring the hands forward. So now unflex the wrists. And then when you get forward, just flex the fingertips towards each other. Feel the stretch along the outside. Once again, open. You can keep the wrists flexed or pointing towards each other. And then when you squeeze back as far as you can, open the hands up, flexing the wrist the other way. One more time, coming forward, keeping those wrists, I'll say, open, and then closing the fingers towards each other. Right. I don't know about you, but this can be a little challenging for my wrists. Something I don't do often. One last time, open. And then lower the hands. So I've been incorporating that movement. Okay, one more shoulder exercise. We're going to bring our arms stacked. I call this the I Dream of Jeannie arms. Yes, from the 70s show. So stack your arms or stack your elbows, just holding on to the opposite elbows. And from here, and I'll mirror you this time. I don't mirror often, but we're going to move towards your right. So I'm just shifting my elbows towards the right. Feel the stretch along the outer left shoulder. And then come back to the middle and go the other way. Just be mindful if it's too much sensation, don't go further than you're supposed to or what feels right. Use your intuition. Come back to center. If the upper body rotates a little bit, that's fine. Try to keep the body towards the front. And we're just rotating the shoulders. And on the other side, one more time. And back to center. Let's just do some circles. So we'll do 3 one way. And then we'll go the opposite. Because in yoga, we just do everything symmetrically. All right. All right. Open up, shake them out. Let's see the time. Perfect. Come to our hands and knees. Remove any props you have at this point. Just place them along the side for now. And we're going to come into our hands and knees. We're going to do some cat-cow movements, which I do in every class because it's great for the spine. Keep your toes tucked, only because the meridians being along the toes, it's just moving that energy. And we don't often tuck our toes during the day either. All right, bring your wrists or your hands underneath your shoulders, and spread the fingertips wide. I want you to do this before we do cat-cow. Press your hands down into the mat. I want you to turn your hands as if you're turning jar lids in the opposite direction. So your right hand is going to the right, left to the left. And when you do that, you notice that your elbows are going towards each other. So you're just creating a little bit of stability in the shoulders here. And then press down and press or pull your hands towards your knees. Notice the contraction in the body, in the upper back, in the legs, and then relax. Okay. All right. So now just continue to press down your hands, and you can turn the jar lids if you'd like, and inhale and lift the head. So you're lifting the gaze up towards the front. Turn those jar lids here because you need that stability, and press your torso or your pelvic up to the sky, and then exhale, round out the spine as you're pressing your hands into the mat. Feel the stretch or the broadening of the upper back. Inhale, lower the belly, allow the belly to drop, lift the head, lift the torso or the pelvis, and then round out. And when you're doing this cat-cow movement, to help the pelvic floor, I want you to squeeze everything down there like you're doing a QiGong. Just press and squeeze. This can help with any pelvic type issues without getting into detail. It just can help with any kind of menstruation issues. And this movement can as well. Right, we're moving the pelvic floor. And then we're going to come to neutral spine. So just a slight curve of the back, the natural curve of the spine. And now we're going to walk our hands forward, about 2 hand prints, and bring our hips back. Just come into child's pose for a few breaths. The reason why I'm doing this is that anytime you need to come to this pose, you can. This is a beautiful restorative resting pose. You can lower the elbows down and make your arms comfortable. Allow the forehead to come to the mat, to the floor. And let's just say that we are showing some gratitude to the earth. Feel that stirring of the earth as it makes its way to spring. Feel any sensations along the inner linings or the outer linings of the legs, the lower back, the back of the neck, the shoulders, the front of the shoulders or the front of the upper arms. And then let everything go and surrender and relax. Take 2 breaths 2 complete breaths. In QiGong, we call this bowing in humility. And then after your 2 breaths, come back to tabletop. And we'll make our way to standing and just do some more fluid yang-like movements. From here, first, let's extend the right leg back, tuck the toes, press the heel to the back of the room, and feel the flexion, the extension in the back of the leg. And then bend your leg, bring it to the front of the mat. Heel toe it in between your hands, and then tuck the back leg, back toes, lift the back knee, and bring that left foot up to meet your right foot. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Allow the head to hang heavy. Allow it to relax so that you don't feel as if you're holding it up. And then turn your palms up as you extend your legs just a little bit more, coming up to standing, and rotate the arms. The palms are facing up. Allow the palms to touch if it's accessible, and then bring your hands to your heart center. Bring your hands by your side. Just going to adjust my mat. Just stand in this posture just for a moment. So bring your hands by your side. Allow the hands to face the torso. Bring your feet a little hip distance apart. Bend the knees slightly. Tuck the pelvis in a little bit. Just feel the energy that you are circulating, or that is circulating in the body. You may feel any sensations in your hands or anywhere in the body. We're going to create more of that energy awareness in a moment. But before we do that, I want to do a couple of circular movements with the body. We're going to inhale, reach our arms up, and then just grab the thumbs. Extend the spine by reaching the hands up. And as we inhale and exhale, we're going to do some circles. So I'll face you and show you what I'm doing. Just rotations with the body. It could be big or small. And as you do that, I want you to feel as if you're creating a vortex of energy, as well as stretching the body. So you should feel the nice stretches along the side body, the back body, the other side, and the front. And when you're done with about 2 or 3 of these rotations, go the other way. Don't do them fast. Do them nice and slowly and mindfully. And then when you're done, come back to center. Reach the fingertips up as high as you can, and it's appropriate, and then lower the hands down. You're going to float the hands down along the side. You can face me. We're going to do some QiGong exercises now. And we'll just do some warming up ones, and then one that is specific to the gallbladder. All right, bring your hands along the side. Just feel your energy for a moment, or just feel your connection to the earth. And then bring both hands and place them along the lower part of by the belly button, right below the belly button. And then with some circular motions, of course, 3 one way and then 3 the other way. I want you to massage the dantian, this area. This is where we store our energy. 3 or 4 one way and then the other way. So you're activating the qi. So qi is our life force energy, our prana, or just our energy that keeps us alive. And then pause for a moment. So when we cultivate an awareness of our energy, we're able to notice when we're fatigued and where that energy is stagnant, where we're not feeling right. We can move that energy in our body. So we're going to create some healthy flow of energy with these movements. Okay? Bring your hands together, but apart. So facing each other. And then start to expand that energy as if you have taffy in between your hands. So pull it apart and bring it in. And pull it apart and bring it closer together. Maybe move that as if you're moving a ball. So just do this a few times. Just notice what you're noticing in between your hands. See if you can feel anything tangible there, or even give it a color. Okay. And then let's go back to where we were at the beginning. Allow the palms to face each other, but not touching. Keep your knees softly bent. Tuck your pelvis in. As we inhale, we're going to draw the palms out, keeping the wrist extended so the fingertips pointing up. Stretch the hands, and then look at the middle fingers or the fingers, and then rotate the neck to the other side. As you gaze towards the fingers, look past the fingers, and then draw the hands back towards the middle. Let's do that again 2 more times. Extend, look at both hands, and draw the energy back. So we're expanding that energy out towards the body, towards the outside of our body. And then we're drawing some back in. Now we're going to do that. We're going to do that towards the back of the room now. So extend the arm behind you, one in front, and look at both hands, and come back to center. Do it again on 2 times on this side, and then we'll do the other side. And feel as you expand the energy, if you're creating this beautiful protective wall or home of energy behind you. And then rotate the other side, do the same thing on this side. Use your breath as you exhale, stretch the hands apart and draw them back in. And now allow the hands to face each other, one down, up and down. From here, turn the palms the opposite way and extend to the top or to the bottom. Rotate the hands and draw that back down. And don't allow the palms to touch, because once they touch, you'll discharge that energy that we're creating and expanding. So that you're diffusing it. So we're expanding, rotating, and bringing it back down. One more time. Expand that energy and rotate the hands. From here, bring one hand in front. It could be your right or your left. Don't touch your body, and one behind you. We're going to do what is called the sash. So we're going to create energy in a circular motion around our sash or our belt area, keeping your knees once again slightly bent with your pelvis tucked in. So we're going to rotate one way, rotate the other. So do this for several times. Just go as slow as fast or fast as you want. I always tell everybody this is one of my favorites, because anything that rotates the spine feels good. Okay. 2 more times on each side. We're doing this longer than the others. And then when you're done with that, you're going to come to the center. Bring your hands above in cactus. Palms are facing up. We're going to do what is called roots and branches, where we're connecting the energy from the earth to the sky, to the heaven, because the series of exercise I'm doing with you is called Between Heaven and Earth. And just go down. As we inhale, we're going to bend our knees and come down as if we're coming down into a squat. You can come down or halfway down. And then as you exhale, extend, but keep your palms facing the sky. And then inhale down. We'll do this 3 times. Exhale up. Inhale, draw the energy in from the earth and the heavens, and the exhale, press it back out. Good. And now just remain here for a moment with your hands up and your legs extended. Good. And then bring the hands back down. Good. And this time, just notice what you notice, what you feel. If you feel any sensations along the limbs or the inner linings of the arms where the soft tissue is, maybe in between the legs where all the meridians are, maybe even in your torso. So we'll just stand here for a moment, become aware of the sensations that you may be feeling. We're going to take a couple of breaths. So we're going to inhale, reach up. As you exhale, draw the fingertips towards each other and down the front of the body. So exhale, long exhale down. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach up. And as you're inhaling, feel the breath or the energy come up the back of the body. And then exhale, lower the hands down. Let's do that again. And exhale. We're going to do that the opposite way. Inhale, draw the energy from the front of the body up to the sky, turn the palms up, open the hands up, and then exhale down the back of the body. So it's called microcosmic orbit. Down the back. And set the intention that you're floating this energy in the front of your body and then washing it down the back. So you just did an entire series of movements. I left one thing out, but that was a whole series of exercises called Between Heaven and Earth, where we're expanding the energy in all directions. And that energy is moving throughout our body because anywhere we're setting the intention and we're moving the hands, it's moving that energy. All right, I want to do one exercise, another exercise, and it's called Tiger Straightens Its Back. It's one of my favorites. All right, you're going to bring your feet facing forward. This is called a horse stance. I neglected to mention that before. Some of you have taken my classes before, so you'll know this. And you can touch your body at this point, so we're good. And I'll do the first round a little slower so that you'll see what I'm doing. So you're going to turn your right. I'm not mirroring you, so you can follow me or mirror me or not. You're going to turn your toes to the right as if you're in a lunge. And then you're going to turn your torso that way. And you're going to bring your hands forward. And so your hands are like in a little clawing position as if they're grabbing a pole. And then you're going to reach forward as if you're grabbing that pole. And then you're going to come back, keeping your arms in cactus. You know, keep that front leg bent, keep the back leg straight, and do a nice side bend. Okay. Then you're going to come around, toes come back forward. You're going to switch around to the other side. You're going to turn the other toes. And then you're going to draw to pick up that pole. The top hand will face forward and then come back this way. All right. Don't worry about all the little details. It takes practice, trust me, to do these movements. Daily practice until they become right. And I still sometimes get them, they need tweaks, but it's not a problem. It's just moving and extending the legs, bending the legs, feeling the energy along the side. This is for the gallbladder, so it's along the side of that straight leg. Do several of these. Notice how you feel. If you hate them, then move in a different manner. But I like this because it's not something that you do normally. Right? You don't move the body this way. And then back. So this is called Tiger Straightens Its Back. And one more time. And then this way. Okay. And then this time, keep your legs the way they are. Your right or your left leg may be in that lunge position, and your back foot is, the toes are facing forward. So if those of you that do yoga, this is a warrior two. So we're going to stay here because we're also doing the same, working those same meridian lines. All right. So in this warrior two position, we're going to float our arms up. And then you're going to gaze past those front fingertips, just like we were doing with the other exercise, the QiGong exercise. So there's so many ways we could blend the two modalities. And now we're going to flip both palms up and reach up, straighten out that front leg. And then lower the palms down in front of the body in that little QiGong flow. And then extend the arms out, bending, rebending that front leg. Coming back to your warrior two. Flip both palms up, reach up. Exhale, float the palms down towards your heart. And when you get to your heart, and then extend the energy, squeeze the shoulder blades, gaze past those fingers. One more time, flip up. And we'll do the other side as well. And then press out, palms facing down. Bring your hands to your hips and extend that leg. Turn those toes to face the front. Turn the opposite toes, the other leg. Bend that knee, maybe even bend it and extend it a few times. Feel a stretch maybe along the inner lining of that hip, along the back of the leg. Keeping your torso nice and long. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Extend the arms out, palms facing down. Notice what you notice. Make any adjustments that allow you to feel comfortable in the pose. You take a few breaths. Feel the feet as they firmly are rooted into the earth. And then put both palms up as you extend that front leg, and then lower the hands down. Press that energy out. Gaze past the fingers. Flip the palms 2 more times this way. Any of these movements can be done slow or fast. It's whatever you're feeling, whatever you need. And then turn all the toes to face the front of the room. Bring your hands to your hips. We're going to do a wide leg forward fold. Just be mindful of anything that doesn't feel right. Remember to back out of the pose. So from here, we're going to start to fold or hinge at the hips and then come forward. You can place your hands down onto the mat. Just notice any sensations of the lower backs, of the knees and the legs. Allow the head to hang. I'm going to show you something that I like to multitask. This pose is great for the gallbladder and the liver, right? You can do it standing or seated. Now, I'm going to take your right hand. I'll mirror you here. And just along the inner linings of the leg, I want you to just take your fist and lightly tap. All the way up. And then come to the outside. Start at the hip, lightly tap. So what does this do? It just moves that energy. So if there's any leftover stagnant energy, you're moving it. Just light taps. And then do the same with the other side. You can do this standing up. You don't have to do it upside down. But we're upside down right now, so that's why we're doing it. And then release. All right, we're going to heel toe the feet, start bending the knees. And then from here, bring the feet and hip distance apart and just keep the knees bent a little bit. Come into a forward fold. And then inhale, reach all the way up. Hands come up in prayer. And then allow the hands to come together at heart center. And just gently bow, leaning forward, bending the hips. Just in gratitude for those that are practicing our little QiGong flows and our standing practice. Inhale back upright. And then we're going to come back to seated. So I'm not going to slow you down there. You can go through a flow if you'd like. If you want to follow me or just go ahead and sit. But you can come to the top of the mat and we can do a little yoga flow to get there. So inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold. Keep your knees bent. You can step back. And then lower the knee. And then bring the other knee back. And come to seated. So that's the slow motion, accessible way to get down to the floor. All right. From here, let's do one more stretch and then I'll guide you through a nice Shavasana. So this class is only an hour. So once again, if you have your blanket, 2 ways you can use it in this pose. You can sit on it like we did before, or if you want to try it with it rolled up and underneath your knees, this does something similar. What this does is it doesn't create too much tension in the backs of the legs if your legs are tight, because we're going to fold forward, and this pose has 2 target areas: your back and the lower back and the backs of the legs. Okay. So if you want to try it this way, as you come forward, you may feel a little bit more tension in the lower back and a pull, right? So you can try this. Or you can sit on the blanket, and this may create less tension in the lower spine. If you have a blanket, an extra blanket, you can also put it underneath your thighs, your knees, and then come forward. And when you come forward on this pose, I want you to relax everything. Don't grab your feet or anything like that yet. Notice first if you feel tension in the backs of the legs or the back. And if the tension or the sensation is mild to moderate, or maybe more on the mild side, then tug. Okay. But either way, just notice that it's appropriate and not too much. We're going to stay here for a couple minutes or a minute. I want you to start drawing your awareness inward. This is more of a yin practice when you are still and you're coming into more of an internal approach to the practice. Allow the thoughts, the images to surface. Then allow them to fade on their own. It's called practicing awareness. Not becoming attached to any of these things, but just allowing them to surface, being aware of them, and then just allowing them to float away or fade on their own. All right, let's take 2 more breaths, 2 complete breaths. Deep inhale. Exhale out. Another deep inhale. Exhale out. And then press into the mat, slowly lifting the torso, noticing once again, maybe little fragile sensations in the back or the hips or the legs. Bring your hands behind you, bend the knees, bring the knees wide or the feet wide. Slowly rotate the legs. Then slowly lower the legs down to one side. Notice what you notice. Your hips are coming off the mat, that's fine. And then do the same on the other side. Shifting your hips maybe to the other side a little bit, just notice. And then back to center. And you're going to make your way back to your mat all the way down. Bring your knees into your chest. Extend the legs up to the ceiling. If you have a block, you want to put a block underneath or a blanket under your hips. You can lift your hips and draw a block underneath. We come into seagrass. Just allow the legs to stay afloat, moving. You can bring your hands to support them if you don't have a block. Just a few breaths here, allowing all that beautiful drainage, that's the fluid, the lymphatic fluid, to drain the opposite way without working so hard. The blood, all that makes up our chi. So our chi is our life force energy, and it's made up of the food we eat, the air that we breathe, the water we drink. And then draw the knees into the chest, and then extend everything out, coming into your shavasana, lowering the lights. It's bright outside. You may be by a window, or maybe you have a furry friend that is coming up next to you, bringing a blanket or something that is soft and comfortable to nourish your body. Now just do a little body scan awareness, something very simple that I borrowed from Jillian Pransky, whose priority is to help people restore themselves. Giving ourselves caring attention is called healing. And we have a chance to turn our attention back to ourselves and to listen to our inner voice, our body, learning what we need to take care of ourselves, and maybe say no more often. Slow down and give ourselves attention so we can set the conditions to relax more. We need to rely on ourselves, allow the tension and stress to disconnect us from ourselves. Give yourself permission to relax more. Feel yourself cared for. Feel yourself connected to yourself and allow yourself to be present in this moment with nothing but the intention to care for you. Take a few gentle breaths, feeling the air as it comes in through the nose and out through the nose. Make it a little bit longer than natural. Feel the weight of the body landing on the ground and feel where it supports, where you feel supported by the earth. The ground is underneath you, holding you and embracing you. Begin to let your mind rest on your breath. Allow your breath to come to you. To let it come and go on its own. Release anything that happened yesterday or today. Just bring your awareness to where you are at this moment. As we scan from our head down to the ground or to our toes, and if you feel any tension, just receive it with gentleness and compassion for yourself. We're going to start at the base of your skull. And imagine that there's a smile at the base of your skull. Bring your awareness to your eye sockets, freeing any squinting that is happening around the temples and brows. Your eyes feel soft and at ease. Your jaws relax as well as your lips, tongue. Notice space from ears to collarbone. Allow softening of the shoulders, the upper back, and the breastbone. Welcome your breath in this space and feel it expand within you. Scan your awareness from your shoulders down through your arms. Allow that awareness and the energy to float out of your fingertips. Notice the energy underneath the surface of your skin. Return to your torso, allowing the breath to travel down to your rib cage as it expands with each awareness. Notice how the breath softens the belly. Slide this caring attention from your belly to your pelvis. And any tension or whatever sensation you might find, just let it all welcome, or welcome it all as it is. Sliding your attention or your awareness down the legs, all around your thighs and your knees, down your legs, into your feet and your toes. Feel the space in between your toes. And extend gratitude toward your feet that hold you up and carry you all along. Now sit for a minute on the earth that is holding you. Feel your whole self equally. Internalize this self-care, this compassion and this kindness, a gentleness of awareness upon the body and spirit within and without. Bring your awareness back to your breath and allow that breath to move gracefully in and out, nourishing each part of the body. Bring your awareness to your toes and with intention, allow movement. Bring awareness to your fingertips and with intention, allow movement. Bring intention to your knees and with awareness to your knees, and with intention, start to draw the knees in towards the chest. And bring your arms around the shins, draw the knees close. And then lower yourself to whatever side you want. And just for a moment, feel this, all this beautiful energy that you created in this moment, this past hour. Feel it all draw in towards you. As if it's a bank of energy and you're bringing it all in. Feel this energy flowing through the body, free of any stagnation, nourishing all the organs, every muscle, every cell, every tendon, every thought, every dream, everything in your life. And when you're ready, you can press into the mat, slowly making your way to seated without rushing. And when you get there, bringing your hands to your heart space and gently bowing down. And bring to mind gratitude for yourself. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life, and it turns what we have into enough and more. Gratitude brings peace for today and creates a vision for tomorrow. It clears the path for miracles to occur. And I hope that this practice is of service and kindness and compassion, love and gratitude for yourself, for those in your life, and for all mankind. Namaste.